She is the queen of the land on which you are standing.
Everybody kneeled in front of me. Some were shocked, but some still bowed down their heads. That was the first time I felt this powerful. But before I continue, let's head back to the events that led me to this situation. Hello! So this is me, Catherine, the princess of the kingdom of Eldora, a realm filled with charisma and history. Eldora has always been prosperous in wealth, but I had just heard these success stories from the royal people. Because I had never stepped out of my kingdom, I wasn't allowed to. I spent my days and nights in this castle. Although there was nothing that I felt short of in the realm, I wanted to see what was outside these grand four walls. Let's rewind. My mom and dad were the noble rulers of the estate. Everybody respected them. But good times don't last for long, and an incident led to their death. Mom and dad were going on a night tour with all the other rulers from a nearby estate. They were going by sea and a heavy storm hit the shore, and ultimately, their ship sank. I was just 7 months old and had not even seen who my parents were when my uncle adopted me legally as his daughter. Although the throne had to be passed on to me, the legal heir, everybody had to wait 18 years for that to happen. So my uncle ruled the estate till that time. 18 years later, Coronation Day came. There was a massive event with the place glittering like a fairy. Rulers from all big estates joined the coronation ceremony. Wait, is this Queen Parissa of the Sunfire Kingdom? I couldn't believe my eyes. My idol was here. I had always adored Queen Parissa for her fierce nature and bold personality, and today she would see me getting crowned. What could have been better than this? I ran upstairs to get ready. I was getting dressed in my palace chamber. Just then, the royal guard's son, Williams, my to-be queen's guard, entered the room, looking at me in a beautiful gown getting ready. He could not take his eyes off.
You can stare at me as much as you want to. For now, once I'm the queen, that won't be appreciated much.
Williams lowered his eyes, his cheeks flushed red with shyness. He apologized to me. I had known Williams since childhood. We grew up together in the palace. Being the royal guard's son, he studied in the palace's military school and was provided the military chamber of the castle to live. He held a special place in my heart because he was the source of my entertainment. Well, not in a bad sense. Being alone in the palace, I used to get bored. And William was the only one with whom I shared my feelings. When I was young, he used to help me sneak out from the window of my room, and then we sat in the garden for a long while chatting about our day. He loved listening to my palace's lavish stories, and I took an interest in his daily life adventures. He also used to teach me fighting moves. But over time, William's father engaged him in royal training. Williams became introverted and shy. With all those military wars and training sessions, our day-to-day talks were reduced to weekly meets, reducing further to monthly catch-ups. And now, here we were, me being his to-be queen and he my to-be queen's guard only. Anyway, the coronation ceremony began. I was crowned, and now was the time to reveal myself to the kingdom's people, my people. Finally, I was taken to the palace roof and waved my hands. But I heard people crying. Instead of hearing heavy applause as I had expected, I saw them with tears in their eyes looking at me with hope. Those reactions took me aback.
Why were these people crying? What did they expect from me? And what was Uncle hiding from me?
Uncle immediately made me step down the palace roof. The coronation ceremony was over, but I couldn't sleep that night. The thought of those people from my coronation haunted me. I couldn't take it anymore and decided to run away from my kingdom for truth. I tied the rope on my window, hacked my bag, and now was set.
Nah. Okay, yes.
And then what?
He urged to come with me as he was my queen's guard now and was supposed to protect me. I hated this concept of a man protecting a woman, but it was what it was. We ran to a nearby jungle as commoners to avoid revealing our identities. We were finding a safe place to hide ourselves when we heard some footsteps. We turned back, and suddenly a girl jumped from the top of tree.
You came in the wrong lane, beautiful.
She was a dacoit trying to steal money from me, but William's strength couldn't keep her going. When defeated Gazelle revealed that she takes some amount from the rich and wealthy to give it to the poor people in the village.
You should come see the condition of my town, and you would understand my motive.
When I saw her town's condition, I couldn't believe this was happening. Under my uncle's rule, the food those villagers ate was 100 times worse than the one served in our palace. We lived in a prosperous kingdom, and these people lacked even the basic facilities. After listening to Gazelle, I learned that the royal collector of the estate, Jason, used to collect such a heavy amount that villagers had nothing to eat. I decided to visit this Jason guy as a maid. There, I heard him telling his aunt that he feels horrible while collecting this much tax, but must follow the king's orders or he will be thrown out of his position. Listening to this, I fell into pieces. My uncle, the one who supported me throughout these years, the one I trusted, my only family left in this world. I was about to faint when Williams came to my rescue. Williams provided me with emotional support, which I needed the most. King Paris's son, Prince James, came horse riding in our village with his 2 friends and attacked the villagers. Williams, Gazelle, Jason, and I fought against them.
So this petite lady will attack me, huh? Who even are you? Who do you think you are?
To this question, Williams got angry and shouted.
She is the queen of the land on which you're standing.
This left everybody in shock. Everyone kneeled in front of me and bowed down. Our queen! So you're the new queen! Prince James was heavily outnumbered and was taken as a prisoner back to Eldora for attacking me and violating villagers. As soon as I reached the kingdom, I confronted my uncle first.
Eventually failed to deliver enough steel to them. Parissa's kingdom used to build ships, and our kingdom had ample steel. But once a shortage of steel started due to the Queen's heavy demand for steel, the Queen's contract was broken, to which I was indebted.
I had to deal with my uncle later, including Queen Parissa, had to sit together to form a judgment on him. Lost her calmness, nobody had ever dared to even think, let alone take a decision against her. And now that I had convinced all the other allies to take the judgment in my favor, she couldn't digest this fact. Queen Parissa stood up and said nobody should dare touch her son because they all underestimated her capacity. He spilt out that she was the one who was responsible for my mom and dad's deaths. She misplaced the ship's materials on which my mom and dad were supposed to travel. She was envious that our kingdom under my parents' rule was #1 among their allies. Wanting to take that position, Carissa set this trap up. Once she spilled everything, I got so angry that I wanted to slap her, punch her, and pull off her hair. But instead of losing my etiquette, I decided to have a joint discussion with all the other allies.
But what about the debt Catherine has to pay to my kingdom? Her kingdom lost the contract, and now she is liable to pay the heavy amount.
Jason asked the reason behind such a sudden heavy rise in the steel demand. Queen Parissa remained quiet. Her silence raised suspicion. What was she hiding? Parissa's kingdom was then accountable for the investigation. Through investigation, it was found that Parissa's sudden rise in steel was due to her illegally building warships. Knowing this, Eldora's debt was deemed invalid and Parissa was thrown out of her position. Her daughter was chosen as the next ruler. All well, that ends well. People. Instead, I worked with my people. Williams was appointed the royal guard